Hey guys, today I'm going to be reviewing the Creator Expert Modular Bookshop. Some basic information about the set. It is set 10270 with 2,504 pieces and 5 minifigures, and is available right now for $180 American and $200 Canadian. Here is the first minifigure of the set. He has two accessories, one just a little flower, and the other is a printed book cover that says Moby Brick, which is a nice little pun. And inside there's a printed tile that says Once Upon a Time. There's one more of these in the set, and there are actually no stickers in the set, so every design you see is printed. Moving back onto the minifigure, he has a nice little torso print with some overalls and a tie. See the back torso print and the alternate expression. Here is the second minifigure. He has just this red flannel shirt, which is a pretty common torso print. And then he has this gray hair, which is pretty nice, and a beard. But he has no alternate face, which is kind of a disappointment. Here's the third minifigure. She has this nice kind of nougat colored coat for her torso, which is actually a pretty cool piece. And this nice little hair piece. And you can see her alternate face, where she looks a little bit more concerned. Here's the fourth minifigure. He has an azure colored little beanie hat, which is a pretty nice piece to get actually. Here you can see his face print, which he looks pretty scared on the back. And then he has a nice scarf, and I'll show you what his torso looks like without the scarf. A little print of a banana on it, which is actually pretty cool. And you can see the back torso printing there. This is the last minifigure. She has this really cool hair piece, which I've never gotten before, and a pretty common torso. And then you can see her alternate face is a sleeping one, and then just a happy one. The set features two buildings, the bookshop itself, and then a townhouse. We're gonna take a look at the bookshop first. Each building is on a 16 by 32 blaze plate, and it connects to modular just like with the normal system with the Technic pins. This set uses nougat as its base color to give kind of an autumn feel, which actually works really well with the theme of the bookshop. And then there's also a bunch of like stone columns and finishes along, which look really good. You can see there's this really awesome birch tree build at the side here, where they use the Technic pieces, and the little slits in the Technic pieces kind of look like those lines, the black lines you see on birch trees, which is a really cool effect. They also use kind of the orangish and flame yellow colored leaves to give the autumn feel. There's also some little leaves on the ground there that like show that they've fallen off. And you can see there's a little plane stuck in there. And there's also a little bird nest using Craven the Hunter's fur piece, or just like a fur piece. The sidewalk is a pretty standard design, but it has this pretty cool little pattern in the middle here. And also off to the side, there's a little, I guess, clearance book section. I'll show you that right now. This is it. There's just a little stud there that detaches pretty easily. There's some books on the top, just using some tiles and jumpers. There's another one of the printed tile that says Once Upon a Time, and there's a little snot brick technique used here to create some more books. You'll notice that throughout the building there's kind of these stone columns or pillars, which look really good actually. But in the middle here there's a little arch, which is used a bunch of those 1x2 modified with the curved ends, so you can kind of put them at different angles. It creates a really cool effect, and at the top there's just a little lantern. And then there's a sign that says Birch Books, which are both printed pieces. I think the book one's going to be really useful. And then these are some of those really nice gold tiles that are like shiny. I also like the green windows with the white outline, and these are just some big display windows. Moving up, you can see more of those stone columns and finishes. And then at the very top, there's this very elegant kind of curved parts like finishes, which also look really good. And you can see the roof is also curved right there, which is an interesting technique to get that kind of shape. And there's just some railings on top, a big window. That's pretty much it for the exterior. We're going to take a look inside now. Just before we take a look inside, I want to note that the walls of the modular are actually really good. There's not any weird colors showing. I'll show you the other side. And the other side just has a little bit of brown, I suppose, which could just be some weird bricks or something. It's not too bad. And here's what the back of the modular looks like. There's a back door here, which you can open. Some windows, nothing on the grass here. And above there's a balcony, which we'll take a better look at when we look at the second floor. and in the back of the roof there. I'm going to try my best to show you the inside of the first floor, but it's kind of hard because the walls are really tall. But first there's this landing here, which is removable, which has some books there. You can see the inside. I really like this floor tile pattern using cream, flame yellow, and then gold tiles. It looks really good. You can see a little checkout counter there with a cash register and a book there. You can actually stand the minifigure there. And then here there's a little bookshelf using some snot brick techniques to get all the books. Then there's this nice little staircase build, a spiral staircase using one of those kind of modified 1x5s with a Technic actual hole in the middle. And on this side here, there's another bookshelf, which I'm going to turn around to show you. And you can see what that bookshelf looks like. Actually looks really good using more of that snot brick technique. Here's the second floor. It could be one of two things. It could either be a reading lounge or a living quarters for an apartment. You'll see why when I show you the third floor. But it just has a little lounge chair, a lamp, a coffee table, a little grandfather clock. I would show you that better, but it's kind of actually connected into the wall. There's a print for the clock there. It's just a little rug. And you can also see the spiral staircase continues up. And here's the balcony I mentioned earlier with just 2 seats and a coffee cup. And here is the last floor. This back part actually comes off so you can gain access to the interior. That's what that looks like. And then inside, you can see there's a little bed, which is a nice color. It's actually the same color as the townhouse. And then just a little iguana tank here with a printed iguana. I'll show you that in a second. Here you can see what that iguana looks like. It's actually the same color as the bed. Maybe it's blending into the bed, but it actually looks really good. Now looking at the townhouse, this uses a really nice base color of teal with white accents and then some dark blue, which actually all works together really well and ends up looking really good. You can see the sidewalk design. There's a little stud there. You could put a minifigure, a standard white lamppost at the end, and then there's kind of this flower garden here, which is just under the bay view window, which we'll look at in a second. And there's this really cool kind of angled stair design, which is actually a really complicated build, but it looks really good in the end. Here is the bay window. You can see how they kind of use some of those new corner macaroni tiles to finish it off. And they also use candlestick pieces to fill in the gaps in between the windows. There are still kind of little gaps there, but it's actually really seamless and ends up working really well. And then here by the door, we actually have 2 lights on either side, and then that is a print that says 107, and then just a little kind of roof, I guess, over it. I'm not really sure what that is, but it looks pretty cool. Here is the roof. It has 2 dormers, also using candlestick pieces and kind of those little roofs on top. Same technique there. And then it actually has this cool technique to make shingles using those kind of pizza slice tiles in dark blue, which ends up looking really cool. At the top there's just a little chimney. Now we're going to take a look at the sides and then inside. Because of the teal base color, there's not many pieces available in that coloring, so it ends up making the sides look really bad, especially this side. You can see this is the fireplace you'll see inside, and then they have to use kind of sand green pieces and then brown pieces. It looks really weird from the sides. At least you're supposed to have this covered up most of the time, so it's not that bad. Here's what the back looks like. You have some steps to get down from the door. There's actually a crawl space there. A little door to get into the crawl space. And then just a little garden there. And then moving up, you can see there's a little balcony, which we'll take a better look at after. And the other side also has some exposed bricks with some brown, black, and some more sand green. But now we're going to take a look inside. The first floor isn't really a floor, but it's kind of a crawl space. You see you got some steps there to get into the actual house, a little ladder there being stored away, a bag, a mouse trap, and there's some scissors on the wall. Now moving on to the first floor. First floor is actually packed full of details. Over here you have a little cabinet, which actually looks really nice. The fireplace that kind of compromises the wall design. A little painting of a boat on the wall. a window seat in orange color, which is really nice. You can see a little speaker on the table, a little rug there, some chairs, small stair design, and then turning it around, you see you got a little hat rack with an umbrella there. And then there's also a door to get access to stairs, so they're called space, and a little plant. The last floor is actually two halves, similar to the bookshop, except these ones are not connected in any way. This is the one with the balcony, with just a little thin wall. You can see there's the balcony, there's this window, angled window which can actually open and close. And then there's just some flowers there, and a door. And then here's the bedroom. You see you got a little lamp there, picture of a bridge, potted plant, little dresser, I guess, and this really cool bed, which is unnecessary detail right there. They didn't really need to do that. And I also really like the coloring of this bed, it looks cool. But that's pretty much it with the townhouse. I'm not going to show off the box because it's actually too big for my set. But this set comes with 2 instruction manuals, one for each building. It's a perfect set if you want to build it with someone, so you each build one building. The first one has one end at the very back. That's just for the corner garage. And the second one doesn't have anything. So overall, in my opinion, this is one of the best modulars. Both the buildings have very different themes, where the bookshop's more of an autumn theme, and the townhouse is kind of like a spring theme, but they don't really clash with each other, they actually complement each other. Both the buildings have beautiful in their overall design and in their many details. This set was wonderfully designed and is definitely a great value. I recommend this set to anyone who likes Lego buildings. You definitely get what you pay for. It's a great display piece. But that's pretty much it, and that's gonna end the video.